shall give authorized officer all reasonable assistance in his power and furnish him with such information and samples that he require. And no person shall obstruct any authorized officer acting in the exercise of his powers under this act or any regulation made thereunder. Where any authorized officer applies to obtain samples of any article exposed for sale, and the person exposing the article refuse to sell to the authorized officer such quantity thereof as he may require, or refuses to allow that officer to take the quantity which he is empowered to take as samples, and the person so refusing shall be deemed for purpose of subsection 4 have obstructed an authorized officer, and that can be found as an offense and he can sent for a punishment, right? So no person shall knowingly make a false or misleading statement either orally or in writing to any authorized officer engaged in the exercise of his powers under this act or any regulation made thereunder. And no person shall remove or alter, tamper, or otherwise interfere in any manner with any article seized under this act by an authorized officer without the authority of the authorized officer. So any article seized under this act may be, at the opinion of authorized officer, be kept, stored in building or place where it was seized, or may be his discretion be removed to any government institution functioning under the Ministry of Health or Provincial Health Services, and an authorized officer shall inform the authority of any seizure made under this act as soon as practicable, right? So procedure in respect of article and vehicle seized. Upon the receipt of any information under section 125(9), where authority, right? Where authority is satisfied that there has not been any contravention of any of the provisions of this act or any of the regulation made thereunder, the authority shall direct the authorized officer to release such article and vehicle, where the owner of such article or person in possession of such article at the time of seizure consents in writing for the destruction of such article, the authority shall direct destruction or disposal of such article and release the vehicle, or does not consent in writing to destruction of such article, the authority shall direct the authorized officer with notice to such person in possession of the article and the owner of such article to make a complaint to the magistrate court having jurisdiction over the area in which offense was committed of the seizure of the article or the vehicle in respect of which the offense was committed. So if there are any complaint, right? So on complaint being made to the court under subsection B, right? Court shall, after trial, if found the owner or person in possession of the article guilty of contravening any of the provisions of this act or regulation made thereunder, order that such article be fortified to the authority to be disposed of as the court may direct, provided, however, that where the offender is not known or cannot be found, such article shall be forfeited to the authority without the institution of proceedings in respect of such contravention, or not guilty of contravening any of the provisions of the act or regulation made thereunder, order that this article can be released to such owner or person in possession thereof, right? So if something happens And if the articles are being seized, then after finding out whether the owner is guilt or not, again the article can be resent, right, to the owner. If he possess no guilty, or if he possess guilty, it can be transferred back to the authority. So authorized officer to produce before court the part of sample retained by him, where the sample obtained by authorized officer is required to be divided by him into parts, one of which shall be retained by him, and the part retained by him shall be produced in court at commencement of trial of the prosecution in relation to such sample. The magistrate may, in his own motion, and shall, at request of any party to the prosecution, forward for analysis or examine such part of the sample produced in court under subsection 1 to approved analyst, right? So if the sample is collected and if there's a doubt, the parts can be sent to the approved analyst. So it can be NMQAL or any other analyst to check the samples. So the approved analyst to whom such part of the sample is forwarded under subsection 2 shall send his report or certificate to the court within 28 days of receipt of the received by him such part of samples. So once the NMQL receive the sample within 28 days, they have to send the report to the court. The expenses of the analysis or examination shall be paid by party as the court may be direct, right? So it's mean if you're the uh, possessor, right? If you're the distributor, importer, manufacturer, you have to pay the expenses for this analysis, right? So not the authority or the authorized officer who collected the sample will pay for it, right? So, a copy made or extract taken from any book, document, or record by the authorized officer. For example, if there is a prescription book or anything, under Section 125(1), shall, if certified to be true copy or extract by the authorized officer, be admissible in evidence against the person keeping, maintaining that book, document, or record, or causing that book, document, or record to be kept or maintained, and shall be prima facie evidence of the contents of that book, document, or record. Right? So, an authorized officer shall submit an article seized by him or any portion thereof or any sample taken by him to the authority, and unless destroyed under this section, to approved analyst for analysis or examination decided by the authority. Where the approved analyst had made analysis or examination of the article submitted to him, his subsection, he shall issue the certificate or report to the authority and to the relevant authorized officer setting out in that certificate or report results of his analysis or the examination. For this purpose of this part of Act, approved analyst includes additional approved analyst, and article is this, right? So, yes, we have part 4. Give me a second, right? We have part 4, part 5. Okay, part 7. Okay, we have part 4, 5, 6, 7 to be completed, but this is like a vocabulary. Part 8, I won't do, right? It's like an vocabulary, what is adulterated, advertisement, article, by equivalence, borderline product. So if you ask what is a borderline product, here the definition is given, right? Right. So What I share, yeah, yeah, we can finish it today. So what I'll do is I'll share some questions, right? So take a 15 minutes and just write answers for this question, right? So if you have just finished the questions, you all can take a 5-minute break. But this question is kind of a one SCQ question for 100 marks, right? So yeah, so take around 20 to 24 minutes and write it, right? So we'll discuss at 2 o'clock, right?